What's going on, guys, and welcome to another video. And in this video we'll be talking a little bit about the Bronco Sport. We recently had a special visit from one of our Ford reps here at Cam Clark Ford in Airdrie, and with him he brought the Bronco Sport, which included the Outer Banks trim level. I realize there's a lot of videos out there covering more so in depth what the Bronco Sport has and is capable of, but it was kind of neat to see what the Bronco Sport is like in person and kind of have a little bit of a hands-on. Now, unfortunately, we weren't able to get an in-depth review of this Bronco Sport, but here are some of the highlights that I noticed on a quick walk around. Now, Ford has basically released two versions of the Bronco. You have the Big Bronco, which has the optional 2-door or 4-door model, and the Bronco Sport, which is only offered in 4-door. Now, basically what the Bronco Sport is all about, it's kind of like a less aggressive off-road vehicle, kind of designed for those who kind of like to go off the beaten path. It fits in right between the Escape and the Edge, and is, like I said, the little bit more adventurous sibling of the Ford SUV lineup. Now, one of the first things that you'll notice about the Bronco Sport is some of its design carryovers, such as the round headlights and the Bronco logo across the front. Some of the trim levels will even be the same between the Bronco Sport and the Big Bronco, such as mentioned. This one is the Outer Banks. This particular unit had the 1.5 liter 3-cylinder EcoBoost engine, which should be plenty enough power to get people mostly anywhere. One feature that Ford has kind of brought back that I actually haven't seen in quite a long time in a Ford vehicle is to open the glass separately from the hatch. So if you only need to grab a few things right off the top, you have that ability without having to open the entire thing. This particular car was equipped with the optional little tray separator table thing, which was actually kind of neat because it locked into two positions. One where you can have it so that it was basically like a mini tonneau cover. The second was you can have it in a pulled out position with little legs and kind of served more as a table. So you kind of moved it out towards a bumper a little bit more, so you didn't have to kind of lean in or bend over to any degree. The cool thing about this, and I think this was more of a happy coincidence than anything, this little table seemed to fit perfectly underneath the spare tire cover. I asked the representative if this was designed on purpose or if it just happened like that, and he honestly didn't know. So if you don't need this little table, this seems to be a bit of a storage space underneath that you could put it. Some other back-end features include this sweet bottle opener, so when you're tailgating or camping out in the sticks and you need to open a bottle of your favorite beverage and you for some reason realize you forgot a bottle opener at home, don't worry, the Bronco Sport has you covered. Ford has included some lighting in the back hatch that is operable with a button that is located in the rear. And these lights do have some adjustments, so if they're not pointing exactly in the position you like, you do have some adjustment there as well. There is also a 12-volt power point in the back as well to operate some various 12-volt accessories, such as maybe an air pump to blow up an air mattress or some of your favorite water toys or what have you. Now, moving around into the interior, this Outer Banks model kind of had this funky sort of leather slash cloth sort of setup. And the overall design of this combination actually kind of suited it. I can't say this was my first choice, but it still looked good and felt good. Unfortunately, we weren't able to sit in this vehicle, probably due to COVID reasons. However, we still were able to get a nice, good sense of it. The layout of this entire thing is all new. Of course, it will be coming with Ford's Sync 4 system, as well as there's a lot of features and design carryovers from the 2020 Escape. Of course, because it is the Bronco Sport, it will be a little bit different. However, you'll still get these new features and technologies. The back seats looked like they might have been a bit cramped. However, before I knew that we couldn't climb into this thing, I was able to sneak myself in there. I'm 6'2" and I didn't really notice any cramped feeling necessarily. I think I could ride comfortably back there. There was a bit of a spot where the headroom in the back for the back passengers, it kind of sloped up, which you can see also from the outside. As mentioned, I am 6'2", and the height of this thing was actually pretty surprising to me. I thought it was going to be a little bit shorter than it was. Overall, the Bronco Sport was bigger than I thought it would be as well. I don't actually really know what I was expecting, but Either way, I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised that it was bigger than I thought. This model also included a sunroof, which was actually kind of interesting to see how they got around that, considering how the roof raised in the back. A couple of the salesmen were kind of wondering how Ford got around that. Where does this sunroof go when you open it? We got to see exactly how Ford went about that. Now, I'm not going to lie, one kind of downside that I saw to this was basically the way the glass would be positioned when it's open might make it a little bit susceptible to rock damage or even shattering. That is kind of a possibility of any vehicle with a moonroof, but the way it's positioned kind of would make me believe that it would be a little bit more so. I guess time will tell whether or not that is the case. I mean, Ford does have some pretty outstanding engineers, and I guess we'll just have to see. And that about does it for this video. As I mentioned, we couldn't really do a in-depth hands-on review of the Bronco Sport, but it was still nice to see some of the smaller features that may or may not be talked about in other videos. If you enjoyed this video, guys, we hope that you leave us a like, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. And if you want any more information on the Bronco Sport or even the big Bronco that is scheduled to be released as early as spring of 21, please reach out to us at Cam Clark Ford in Airdrie, Alberta. I'll leave contact information in the description below. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.